Welcome back to Thinking About Tech. And this episode is going to be on Donors Choose. I'm your host, Craig Lawson, and we're going to talk about something today that's not quite maybe technology that you can use in your classroom, but instead how to get some of that technology. Donors Choose is an online website that allows you to basically request funding for materials and supplies for your classroom. And so it's kind of like almost like reminds me of Kickstarter, I guess. I don't know which came first. Maybe I think it was maybe even Donors Choose, but it's Donors Choose is geared just for education, and you have to be a teacher to you know basically put in a project, which is what they call it. Basically, they're a grant writing that you're doing. You're writing a grant and you're trying to get someone to donate, or in this case, multiple people to donate enough money to allow you to get the supplies that you need. So in the 3D Game Lab Quest, it kind of covers this and goes along with this. I laid out the steps to really sign up for the web page for teachers that are really new to this idea of creating accounts on web pages, and I ran through all that stuff. And I don't, it's kind of too time consuming doing videos, so I'm going to skip that part. I'm going to, we're going to kind of pretend that, you've already gone to the site and you've signed up, so you've got an account now. And the next thing that is on your mind is obviously, where do I begin? How do I create this project so that I can start to get funding for this cool technology that I want to have in my classroom so my kids can do these great things. So we're going to go up here to account. We're going to click on account, and one of the things you have to do, and again it's talked about in that 3D Game Labs Quest, is you have to upload a picture, a classroom photo, and to I guess show a little bit about what you're gearing maybe your project towards, or a little bit about what goes on in your classroom or what your classroom looks like. That picture is going to accompany your project. And we're going to actually do a project for some Chromebooks. I didn't have any photos of Chromebooks or anything, and I want to use my own photo for something like this. I don't want to, obviously, I could have looked for like a Creative Commons picture or something. I just wanted to put some of that was mine, and specifically in my classroom, something going on in my classroom. So that's up there. So we're going to go down here to create a project. So once you have your photo, you're going to come down here to create a project, and we're going to actually start a new project. Now, one of the things I did is I went through here, and you may want to do this as well. I created a Word document. Excuse me, let me hit this and go. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. I created a Donors Choose kind of template for the types of things that you're going to have to input as you're creating your project. And I like to do this because I like to think about things, write things out, go back and edit things, share with some of my colleagues, get some ideas for how I could change it to make it better before I go in and do it. And I like to take my time with that. So I'm going to put this up on Scribd. So this document will be in 3D Game Labs, and you can kind of use this template if you want to download it to kind of create your own project. Excuse me. Try not to cough, but it's really hard. So we're going to go ahead here and start this project, but I just kind of want to show you that we'll be pulling that document up and using it as we're going along. So I'm going to click Create Project, and it's got a video guide that kind of helps you through this process. I want to kind of make my own, but feel free to go and watch that one. There's also a PDF which I include in the Quest. You can also download it here that kind of shows you step by step. Some people they can follow directions better for the reading than listening, so that might be a great help to you. So I'm going to go to Get Started, and I set this account up just like if you were setting up for the first time. So one of the things that you need to realize is for your first project, or your first couple projects, excuse me, for your first couple of projects, you're kind of limited on how large of a request you can put in. So we have these things called points, and again, $100 to $400 is 1 point, $400 to $800 is 2 points, and then obviously it's more than $800 is 4 points. Also, they've got like class trip, class visitor. Those things you kind of unlock as you've had projects funded. So it's kind of like one of those things where you level up, or you earn an ability to put in larger requests for maybe larger purchased items and stuff after you've done it a couple times and it's been funded and successful. So we're going to start out, and we're actually going to look for 3 Chromebooks, and that's going to fall in right under the $800 price range. So we're going to use 2 of our 3 points. And if you click this Y, it kind of explains like the point system and what it means and stuff a little bit, maybe better detail than I did. We're going to go ahead and we've got that selected. We're going to go save and create title, which we've already done on this Word document. So we come in here and copy it. So we're going to call it Empowering Kids to Create Digital Media, because the class that we're creating here next semester and hopefully carrying on to next year is going to focus on having kids really participate in this new media and basically taking things that they're getting from the internet and videos and apps that they're using and kind of reviewing those and examining that type of stuff and then relating those experiences through blogging and things like that. So you go save and go to shopping. And then you get this, go shop at eSchool Mall. So you have to go through one of their particular vendors to request an item from that vendor. So that way when it gets funded and everyone's donated the money, they're going to basically just automatically, they're just going to ship that to you. So we're going to click on this button, make sure your pop-ups are enabled for your browser. A lot of times that's on default, it's turned off. So this little window here is just basically telling you a little bit about what to do in the eSchool Mall, the facts. There's also a video guide for that if you'd like to look through it. When we continue on, we get this window that shows us, there's a little search option here so you can search all the catalogs. I found out that doesn't work too well, so I've not really used that. The thing that I normally do is go over here to the vendor websites and pick the particular website that I want to look through. And primarily when technology is concerned, this is going to be either CDW or Best Buy for Business. And Best Buy for Business is the only one that you're allowed to use at this time, as far as I know, to get Apple products. So that's something to keep in mind. Since we're going with Chromebooks, because this site sometimes has caused me difficulties in the past, the vendor's fine. It's just that for some reason, like using Chrome or even when I tried to use Firefox, which is what they suggested, I still had problems getting into this site by going through their website. So right now we're going to choose one that's working really well, CDW, and that's a common one even before I've done Donors Choose. Here in Pender County Schools, we've used them to get technology quite often. So another one is going to pop up. It's going to show the catalog for Donors Choose teachers. I'm going to click Computers, and then Notebook Computers, and right here at the top, Samsung Chromebook. So we're going to go with this. I'm going to hit Add to Cart, and then before I hit Checkout, I'm going to update my quantity. So we want 3. Hit Update, and it's going to show the updated price. Again, remember 800 is as high as we can go. So we're under that limit here. I'm going to hit Checkout, and it's going to tell me, would you like to transfer the shopping cart over to basically Donors Choose, which is what we're going to do. So we're going to hit the Transfer Shopping Cart. And it's going to come back to this. We're going to hit View Cart. It shows us what we've selected, so we can go to some different stores if we wanted to select different things and put it on the same request. And then we are going to go to Checkout and complete order and submit to Donors Choose. And that's going to fill it in. And that's going to take us down to the Go Shopping section here. So again, it kind of gives a little bit of a breakdown of this process and what it is. It says this: you have 3 points. The project will cost 2 points. Material cost $772, and then it shows you obviously state sales taxes and all this stuff. Now this stuff, as far as I know, doesn't count in that whole point system. As you can see up here, we got 3 points, and we use 2 because it's under $800, but the total at the end will cost slightly more than that. And there's this big note just letting you know that you can't change materials after you submitted the project. So that's something that's important to keep in mind. So we're going to go to Save and Summarize Cart. And then this top line here, it says in one sentence, summarize the requests in your cart below. So my students need, this is an example here, 50 children's books such as Green Eggs and Ham and Mr. Moon to read during story time. So it's when you kind of go along with that. I've come up here with a sentence, Instead of saying need, this is just my personal preference, is I want to just talk about how those are going to be used, um, and what that's going to do. I feel like the word need or something is kind of seems kind of needy, and we don't want to do that. We want people to fund our project and feel like they're a part of something. And I think that seeing what those kids are doing or what they're going to do with it is important. So I'm going to copy this. It says these 3 Chromebooks provide students the capacity to write stories, reviews, and create media to be hosted online for their peers and the local community. So I'm going to put that in there. And I'm going to go save and tell your story. One of the things, it tells you how much, note for each of these sections, you've got a certain amount of characters that they allow. And so you got to make sure you don't go over that. Okay, so under this story, something to make sure your summary begins with my students need. So I lied to you. I must start with my students need. So let me change that. All right, I know. I'm going to go with the character count. I need. All right, let me edit it in here real quick. My students need 3 Chromebooks instead of will. I'm going to say 2, provide students the capacity to write stories, reviews, and create media to be hosted online for their peers in the local community. So that's probably, I'm going to just say for their community. Let's just use community. And come back here. Apologize for that short delay. We're good. All right. Let's go on to the next. Okay, so open with the challenge facing your students, and there's some hints here. For us, we're going to go with this quote by Sir Ken Robinson that I believe is very meaningful to our students. I'm going to put that in there. Tell us more about your students. Who are they? What they're like. Come here and put our section of that in there. And again, I'm not going to read all of these off to you. But feel free to look through what I've posted here when I put this document online for you. You can use it as kind of a basis, and then obviously, change it so it fits your needs better. So we're going to inspire next, hopefully. And lastly, we are going to close by sharing why your project is so important. So we'll do that here. And they do have a check spelling. And sometimes when you copy and paste things, it goes a little haywire here. But it will also, when you go to continue on, it's going to automatically try to check your spelling for you, which is great. As you can see, for some reason that symbol's showing up when I'm copying and pasting it, but I'm going to ignore that. Same with passions, that symbol. And since it has passions there, I can just go ahead and change it. Online, not sure why. Ignore. Internet, it wants me to capitalize it. You don't really have to, but we can. We can capitalize it, I guess, if it wants us to. iOS, it just doesn't know what that word means, but it's we're going to ignore that. Ignore. Media, okay, we can change, it's got the little A. Chromebooks, ignore. That's really how I say it. Okay. So we're good. And we're going on to the next section here. So what what subject areas will your project support? So we're going to say primarily, really literacy. Primarily it's focused on writing here, but I think that literacy piece, you could argue that writing is part of literacy. I don't really like those. I'm gonna say literacy at the top because I really think that's what it comes down to. And we can put literature and writing as an additional area. What kind of resources the project request? Technology. Save and quantify the impact. Okay, so who is this going to affect? This class is going to have 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students in it. How many students? There's going to be technically 30 students over those grade levels. We could argue that it's going to benefit all students that go to the school, but we'll just stick with that. Save and select expiration date. keep my project on the side as long as you can, 4 months. So it'll keep it up there for 4 months. So we're going to go with that and save and confirm my project. This is what it looks like. It does have those A's in there. I'm going to see if I can get rid of those in just a moment. That's from copy and pasting it. As you can see here, I'm in the editing phase here where I went back and I proceeded to go and make those editing changes to the document because I copied and pasted over, and it took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. So I went ahead and stopped the footage, cut it back there, and I'm going to go here and show you now that I've done my editing. Everything is good to go, and we're going to finish this last part. I'm going to actually submit the project. So I'm going to come here and hit submit, and you submitted your project. Nice work. Now what? If you have a Facebook account, we struggle to turn on Facebook automatic updates. We've received your project. It says it's been posted. And one of the things I recommend, and one of the things that I like to do with stuff like this is, kind of promote your own project. Sit it out there, share it with your friends, share it on Facebook, and try to get the word out there, because as people start funding it, you'll notice that you're more and more likely to get the funding once you get the ball rolling. So it doesn't help to get out there and talk to your local community. Maybe send something home with your students so that they can, share it with their parents and let them know that, hey, this is something you're doing for your school. Could you go online? Because anyone can come here to Donors Choose, make an account. They can't actually create a project, but they can donate. And so they can just donate a couple dollars. They don't have to donate a lot and just get it going. And some people even get, like some people, with depending on the company they work with, sometimes companies, if you show that you've donated to Donors Choose, they might give you comp time or something like that. So there's a lot of people out there really trying to do great things for us and help us out here in the classroom. And this is just one way we can kind of, communicate with them and let them know what we need. And I've found that most people are receptive to that. So that's going to end our video here. I hope this is helpful. I hope this gives you some ideas for what you can do and how you can use Donors Choose to help you get things in your classroom. And as always, please give us any feedback that you have as far as it could concern this video, previous videos, or maybe things that you want to see in the videos, or even in our professional development on 3D Game Labs. I greatly appreciate it. You can email those questions, concerns, suggestions to thinkingaboutTech@gmail.com. And have a great day. Bye.